Okay, Torture Toffee here with Ben Phillips from Back of the Net. Now, is Back of the Net a podcast as well as your TikTok channel?
Yeah, so started off as a podcast in 2016, made by my uncle. Then we switched over to YouTube in kind of like 2017, 2018, and then kind of expanded over to TikTok by myself just around 2 years ago.
I thought it was just you. I only see you on TikTok, so are you just the one who runs the TikTok channel, are you?
Yeah, that's how we go. I'm in charge of the TikTok, and then my uncle and his good mate are in charge of everything else, kind of. And I chip in on the YouTube every now and again.
Yeah. So Bournemouth have had 2 draws in the Premier League start of the season, and you were pretty unlucky from what I seen against Newcastle. Should have probably won that game. I think everyone is of the same opinion. Bournemouth should have took the points in that game. So how are you feeling?
To be honest, I'm happy with how we've started, because our first game being Forest away. Forest away is no easy game. City Ground's a hard place to go, and that is kind of the reason why they've stayed up in the last 2 seasons, because their form is so good. So draw there. Bearing in mind we started 4 wingers that game. We had Sinisterra, Tavernier, Ouattara, and Semenyo all starting, all of which are wingers, just because we didn't have a striker in at that point.
Yeah.
And obviously Iriola didn't trust Jefferson. So yeah, I was happy with a point there. And then obviously the point against Newcastle, we should have won. But to be honest, we did miss chances as well. And I know they maybe did as well, but Evan Nilsson missed what pretty much was an open goal. Pope made some really good saves. So yeah, we should have probably won that. But to be honest, being unbeaten off the first 2 games is not the end of the world. So I'm happy with how we started.
No, I think you've had a pretty good start. You look like you're playing some good football.
Yeah.
And although you haven't had that win.
Yeah, I mean, we are.
Yeah. And you just signed Kepa, who was at Real Madrid last season. So that was a shock. When I see that, I was thinking, what is going on there?
Well, it's just because Neto's been so underwhelming as a goalkeeper in the last kind of season. If a lot of people think just because he's played for like Barcelona and Juventus that he's a really good goalkeeper, but I've never been convinced by him. He always flaps at crosses. Some of the saves he's made, he's like, even against Forest in the first game, he should have done better with their goal, where a shot from 18 yards out, it's along the floor and he just parried it straight out to Chris Wood and they've scored. So yeah, we needed an improvement there. We've already signed Alex Poulsen, and he's back out on loan. Young keeper from New Zealand. He's back out on loan in Australia to get some more experience. So I think it's quite smart that we've got this Kepa loan move to give Poulsen another year to develop. And then now we've got Kepa in. It's a no-brainer. But yeah, it's a really, really good deal for us. And I'm glad we have got somebody that isn't Neto, to be honest.
So do you think Kepa starts now?
Yeah. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't on Saturday, because we've also, off what I remember last year, Neto also didn't have a good game for the 3-0 when you beat us. And also the goal when we beat you 2-1 at our place, you could definitely say that it was his fault, because the cross came in and just carried it straight to better. But yeah, much needed improvement, and I'll be disappointed if Kepa doesn't start, because I've got more faith in him as it stands than Neto, even though Chelsea fans aren't overly convinced by him.
No. Yeah, I think he had a bit of a rocky time there, didn't he, when he was actually in the Chelsea team? So I can understand it a little bit, but he is a good goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about the rest of the season then? Where do you think it's going to go from here to the end? Do you think you're going to do well, or...?
Yeah, there's no reason why we can't. I know we've lost Solanke, which is a big miss, losing the striker that scored 19 goals in the league last season. It's not going to be very easy to replace. But from what I've seen from Evan Nilsson in the first 2 games that he's played for us, obviously he's only started 1, but he looks like such a dynamic striker, and he's really powerful, strong, quick. So very like for like replacement for Solanke, and a lot of our fans are saying when he gets his first goal, no matter how it comes, I think that then he'll be off. And hopefully, even if he can get maybe 13, 14, that's still amazing. But yeah, as long as we, keep our main players fit, like Zabani, like Semenyo, Christie, etc., then there's no reason why we can't have a great season, because we've signed some very good players in the window. We've got a better squad than we did last season, and we finished 12th, 4 points off 9th after, in our first 9 games, we didn't get a win and we were on 3 points. And a lot of people do forget that, because our form, I think it was something like that, in the kind of 20-odd games after we went winless, we were like 6th in the form table for the rest of that compared to the rest of the league. Obviously, I'm not going to say we're going to finish in Europe this season, but I genuinely think we can push for a top 10 finish.
Yeah, I think the Premier League, outside of like the top 6 or 7, it's so close between all the teams. I feel there's not a lot of difference in the quality of the teams. There's like maybe a player or two, but it's not overly huge. I wouldn't say. So I think anyone can actually, if they go on a little run, they can actually push for that top half. You really can.
Yeah. Well, you've got on Twitter, I've seen so many fans of like Wolves fans, Fulham fans, Forest fans say that they all think they can push for top 10, and that's because of the quality in the league. Obviously, a lot of teams can spend money now, unlike maybe previous years when there was quite a big gap. You knew your mid-table teams, you knew it'd be fighting for Europe, and you knew it was going to be down there in relegation. Obviously, we've kind of still got that divide now. We kind of know that Southampton, Leicester, Ipswich are going to struggle. Maybe Brentford will, but I think the whole Premier League season, Everton could be down there, but then again, they are that team that can pick up a run of form out of nowhere. But I didn't want to seem rude. But yeah, I think the Premier League is going to be great this season.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel your pain with losing your top goal scorer, because when we lost Lukaku, we've never replaced him since. We've never had a player who scored goals like him since, and it's really hard to push on when you haven't got someone who can put the ball in the back of the net. I mean, the team can play as well as they want sometimes, but if that one player can't put the ball in the goal, you could literally batter a team for 90 minutes and get beat 1-0. And that's what I feel like happens sometimes to us.
But it's so crucial. But we just need Evan Nilsson to get his first goal. And I think it is coming because he missed some good chances yesterday, and he did miss a good chance against Newcastle as well. But he looks like a really exciting prospect. You know, you don't play for a team like Porto, score hat-tricks in the Champions League last season, and score 25 goals in all competitions if you're a bad striker. And he's also been in the Brazilian national team a couple of times before. So, he's a great talent. We've just got to make sure he obviously gets integrated into the system well, stays injury-free, and I think we'll be on for a good season.
Okay, while we're talking about players, if you had to take one player from Everton's current squad to put him to Bournemouth's team and they have to play, who would you pick and why?
Can we say, is this just out of your whole squad? Because I know you've got a few players out at the moment.
Yeah, well, anyone that's in Everton's current squad, whether they're injured or not, it doesn't matter.
And a bit of a toss-up between Mykolenko and Branthwaite. Because at the moment,
I like that. They're good choices. Yeah.
Because at the moment, we've only got one kind of senior recognised left back at the club in Milos Kerkez, and he's only young. And he also was quite hampered by injuries last season. I think he only started like 22 games in the league, just over half. So if we had a player like Mykolenko and Kerkez, who I think they're all in all, they're probably on similar levels. I think they're both great left backs. Then that would be really beneficial for us.
I'm so happy you mentioned Mykolenko because I feel he goes under the radar and not a lot of people really notice how good he has been for Everton. So the fact that you've noticed that, it's put a smile on my face because I love Mykolenko. I think he's a great player.
And then obviously Branthwaite, he's an excellent centre-back.
He won't be at Everton long, but he's brilliant.
Because we've got centre-backs like Senesi, Zabani and Howson, who are kind of like our main three. But then if we had 4 centre-backs who could all kind of be fighting to start, we would have amazing cover there. And we've got James Hill, who's a very, very good centre-back. He's only young, versatile as well, played really well against West Ham yesterday, against what was a very strong West Ham team, actually. But I think they're both phenomenal players. But if I were to say one, I think it would be Mykolenko, just for kind of where we are as a team.
Okay, so do you have a score prediction for the game? And maybe a first goal scorer too?
All right. Well, the thing is, my heart is telling me that we're going to win 3-1. But then I've also got to realise, that AFC Bournemouth, we're so good at going to play teams and who are on awful runs of form and then making them look really good at football.
Oh, I feel your pain because I feel like that's exactly what we do too.
So I would not be surprised if you scraped a 1-0 with a dodgy header from a corner or something. But I'm gonna try and be positive because
you should be positive. I like it when the fans are positive and pick their own team to win. So that's what I want to hear. So who was the goal scorer? Sorry.
I'm gonna say we're gonna have Evan Nilsson as the first goal scorer, and we're gonna win 3-1.
Okay. Well, I'll go 2-1 because I'll stay positive. even maybe if I don't really believe that, I'll stay positive. So I'll go 2-1, and I'll go Njai, or however you say his name.
He's a very good player.
Yeah, he made his full debut in the Cup tonight, and he was really good. So I'm hoping he starts, because he's not started them yet in the league. So I'm hoping he drops the Corday for him, and hopefully he can have a good game then. Yeah. So are you actually going to the game?
Yes.
You are going, okay.
It'll be the third time I've been to Goodison in the last 3 seasons, and I've still not seen a team score a goal, let alone win. But yeah, I enjoy Everton as an away day. I think the people up there are very nice. Atmosphere is normally very good, especially when we went there on the last day of the season when you stayed up. That was like top 3 atmospheres I've ever been in. It was unreal. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good one. And it's the last time at Goodison as well that will be.
It is,
We'll like get you in the FA Cup or something.
Well, that was going to lead me to the next question. I was going to actually say, I mean, you said you've never seen Bournemouth score at Goodison, so it might be hard for you to come up with an answer. But if you had to pick a favourite memory of Goodison Park before it goes, have you got one, and why would it be that?
It's probably going to come across as really, really weird, but when you scored that goal to stay up, looking back on it, it feels quite special, because that was a really special moment for a very big club in Everton, and we had nothing to play for at the time. It was a case of like, if we won, we finished maybe 14th, and if we lost, which we did, we finished 15th. Like, it meant absolutely nothing to us. And just to see the kind of relief in the fan base of you staying up then, it was really, really special, because the atmosphere then.
And I'm sure you could appreciate that moment a lot more than a lot of fans could, because you know what it feels like to maybe be in a relegation battle, and that relief of either surviving one or the heartbreak of actually going down. I mean,
well, we got relegated last time at Goodison Park when we won on the last day of Project Restart in 2020. We won on the last day of the season.
I remember, I remember that game.
Yeah, we got relegated because I think it was West Ham lost. I think Villa beat West Ham or something, which meant that they then stayed up over us, because Villa should have gone down after everything that happened when we came back from lockdown. So that actually sent us down, and that's the last time that we won there.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember it was during COVID, because there was nobody in the ground, was there? I remember that, yeah.
Gosh, wow. Mental.
It just seems like yesterday, that game. But when you say it, I just got a flashback.
That was one of the first games that Solanke started to score goals for us as well. I remember we had Leicester, I think, like the game before or 2 games before, and he scored the worst brace known to man with the finishes. I got very lucky, but that was like the first time he's properly got into a decent run of form in a Bournemouth shirt, and obviously kind of kicked on from there. But yeah, to be honest, Goodison Park's a brilliant ground. It would be sad to see it go. Kind of a bit like Upton Park. Never got to go there because I was kind of too young. I think we only played there once in the league, which was, I think, our 3rd game ever in the Prem, and I was only young back then. But yeah, unreal ground, proper ground with character. I'm excited to see a new ground though, because what I've seen of it actually looks really good.
It does look really good, and I know you have to move to progress, but there's something about old stadiums and smaller, compact stadiums that I just like. So I love Goodison Park, I love Villa Park, Bournemouth stadiums. It's nice, you know what I mean? So the small, like the big ones, they do look great, but I feel you lose a bit of your soul, mate. When you go to a big ground like that, it's just not the same. It doesn't feel the same. Like West Ham fans will probably tell you that it's probably not the same.
Yeah, when I was there yesterday for our cup game against them, the atmosphere, I know it was the second round of the cup, but every time I've been there, it's been very, very poor. And I know their away fans are very good, which shows they've got a good fan base, but you just can't generate any noise inside these kind of bowl-like grounds, which is a shame, because I just hope it doesn't happen at Everton's new ground. But from what I've seen of it, it looks like the stands are quite steep, roof's quite low. So I think that should be all right. But yeah, it looks to be quite maybe an exciting time off the pitch for Everton at least.
Yeah. Well, I'd hope so. I just hope we stay in the Premier League when we're actually moving into the ground.
Imagine that. Imagine Stockport get promoted, and then your first game,
that's your opening game,
Stockport at home.
Oh. It'd take the shine off it a little bit, wouldn't it? It really would.
Big time.
Yeah. So have you got an opinion on where you think Everton will finish? And you can be honest. If you think we're going to get relegated, you can say it. I won't take offence.
I think it's a really difficult one because obviously we're only 2 games in the season, so many things can happen. Like right now, Everton could win their next 3 games and then all of a sudden be like in the top 10, maybe in like 7th or 8th, and look like they're doing really, really well. But I do think you're going to be down there. But I just think the quality of your squad, surely compared to some sides there, is good enough. I do think you'll scrape it. I think you'll be 17th. Because I thought the Forest were going to be down there, and then they made some really good signings. They looked to be playing really good football. Brentford have managed to keep hold of, at the moment, at least they've kept hold of their front 3, who've kind of kept them in the league.
Yeah.
But then I do think it'll be difficult because Southampton, I thought were going to be really I thought they were going to be kind of the closest team maybe out of the promoted 3 to stay up. Maybe Ipswich. I'm still not sure about them.
Yeah.
But now they've
it's still early though, isn't it, to tell? I mean, a lot of the time when a team comes up, they look okay for the first 5 to 10 games, and then they have a big drop off, don't they? A lot of them. But some of them don't. So I suppose we'll see. But yeah, it'd be nice to see a team like Ipswich stay up. I just hope it's not at the expense of Everton.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I do think you'll be all right, especially because it's your last season at Goodison. The fans are obviously aware of that and how much it means.
Yeah.
They'll make it a proper fortress. I think as long as you don't concede early in games like against Bournemouth and you kind of start maybe on the front foot, that's what can really, really hurt teams.
That is the problem. When Everton concede early, the fans kind of, it's not all of them, but a lot of them seem to get on the team's back, and the team feel the pressure then.
Yeah.
So it's not ideal. So I think that's where Bournemouth, if I was Bournemouth, I'd go all out straight away on Saturday to try to get that first goal, because if you do, it makes it a lot harder for Everton with the fans, because some of the fans will turn. They will turn straight away. And I think Ben Foster said it years ago when he'd done a podcast, and he said on it, like, the team talk was silence Everton's fans early, and that's how you win at Goodison Park. And he's right. I think he's totally right. So if Bournemouth can do that, then I think it'd be a tough afternoon for us.
It's just we've got to realise what we did last season. We started really, really slow. I can't remember if it was 2 or 3-0 at half time. I think it was 2. But yeah, we started off so sloppily, and we paid the price for it, because we turned. Goodison Park can either be an absolute awful place to go to for away teams, or you can really use it to your advantage.
You can,
But yeah, obviously we're not going to have that many fans up there on Saturday. I think we've only sold out about 1,500, so it's going to be hard for us to make a noise if you get on the front foot.
To be fair, it's a hell of a trip, isn't it? So
yeah, especially for a small club.
Oh, well, don't say that. Well, you're a Premier League team. You are a Premier League club. You're not a small club. You're a Premier League club.
Smaller fan base, let's say. We've got a smaller fan base than clubs like Everton or the bigger clubs like that.
Yeah, but you're still a Premier League club. So any Premier League club is not a small club to me, because you've deserved that right to be there, haven't you? So in your own right, you are a big club.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Fair enough.